And we're live. Hello, everyone. So good to see everyone tuning in. Once again, let us know where you are tuning in from. What time zone it is for you. So let's see. Hey, Nomad, Flop6. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I know at least in my time zone, it's already 11 p.m. and it's a Friday night. So I guess you guys tune in, sacrificing your Friday nights, or probably you're at the club tuning in. But thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Once again, we're back onto the Binance Earn Project AMAs. So this week we're very excited. Sorry. 1 second. I think I have one of the echoes on. Yeah. So this week, sorry about that. So this week we're very excited to have Sangmin say, Representative Director of Klaytn Foundation, and Jinnie Lee, Head of Development at Klaytn Foundation, with us today. Very excited. So Sam and Jinnie, do you want to give a quick introduction to yourselves? Oh, hello.
Yep. I think Sam, it's some.
Sam, you want to go first? Oh, okay. Maybe Jinnie, you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. This is Jinnie. I'm a head of partnership at Klaytn Foundation. It's very nice to be here today. It's my first AMA session, so I'm quite nervous, but I'll try my best.
You're gonna do great. I'm still very nervous. I see we already have 3.5K from Binance Live, and a lot of friends from YouTube. Sam, are you back? Okay. So while Sam's tuning back in, I heard Jinnie. So where are you based?
I'm currently I'm based in Singapore, but at the moment we are attending the ETH Vietnam conference. So we are currently in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam.
Nice. How is the conference? I heard a lot of people went.
Oh, it's yeah, it has been. It was our first day, and it was really crowded. Lots of projects there. I can see that many people are interested, and there were many Vietnamese developers as well. So we find that it's very interesting.
Oh, hey Sam, you're back.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
we just finished the AMA.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I was so confused.
Well, glad to have you back. So we were in the introduction. So do you want to give a quick introduction to yourself?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry guys. Hello everyone. My name is Sam. I'm a Chief Clayton Officer and also Director at Klaytn Foundation. Yeah, I joined Klaytn 4 years ago, and so started as a software developer. I'm now managing the entire project, also leading the development and operation of the Klaytn network. And yeah, sorry again, and good to see you guys. Yeah.
Well, very glad to have you back. Yeah, so for today's AMA, once again, we're super excited to have Klaytn on. And the rules are, as always, the same as our past AMAs. We have an exciting big giveaway of $5,000 worth of Klaytn. Feel free to click in the description below where we have the survey link. So if you haven't posted your questions in the past few days, we've already posted a survey, a tweet on the Binance official Twitter. We've posted on the Binance Instagram and the Binance Facebook. So we have a survey there to collect everyone's questions regarding Klaytn. And thank you guys so much for submitting the questions. We've collected some very high quality questions. And today we have Sam and Jinnie here to answer all of them. So once again, for the questions that have been chosen, congrats. You will receive $25 worth of Klaytn tokens in the form of a lock trial fund. So feel free to search lock trial fund on Binance to see how that works. But essentially, you'll receive a portion of that, a portion of the Klaytn in the fund itself, and then a portion of it you'll receive in interest. So after it matures, you'll receive the full amount of Klaytn in your spot wallet. And once again, so today, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. Please do not spam. Please do not, put scam links or whatever. And so once again, feel free to drop your quality comments and questions in the comment section. Don't copy other people's questions. We found that it has become very common. But yeah, so if your questions get chosen, we will have we have some people in the backstage that will help us collect these questions. And at the end or during the QA session, I will pick some of them or during like the pre-collected questions section, we'll pick some of them. And for those questions that are picked, you will receive $20 worth of Clayton log trial funds. And also we'll pick around 100 winners. So just keep dropping the quality comments in this comment section. And for the viewers on YouTube, feel free to, if you want to participate in the giveaway, feel free to log into Binance and go into the Binance Live in order to participate for the giveaways, because we have to have your Binance ID. So, okay, let's get started. For today's agenda, it's the same as always. We'll start with the questions. And then at the end, we have a prize quiz. And this time, I've also prepared a feedback survey at the very, very end. So please stick to the end. We have, in order to participate to the giveaway, there's a survey at the very, very end of this AMA. So we would like to hear your feedback on past AMAs, on how this AMA does and what you've learned. So, all right, without further ado, let's jump into the AMA. So first off, Sam, would you like to give a quick introduction for those who don't know yet or who are not very familiar with Klaytn? What is Klaytn? So just a brief introduction.
Sure. Okay. So let me briefly introduce Klaytn. So Klaytn is an EVM compatible public layer 1 chain. So we started this Klaytn project in South Korea. So, and it's around 2018. And so we work on the development of Klaytn network. And so we launched the mainnet in June of 2019. So it's been more than 3 years since the launch of the mainnet. And so Klaytn project is backed by Kakao. It's one of the largest IT giants in South Korea. And they are still supporting the Klaytn project actively, and we also have a lot of partners and developers already working on Klaytn. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go to the first question. All right, so congrats, Yuan, Freya. So I think you mentioned a bit. So what was the inspiration to build Klaytn, and what was the what do you think the impact to the crypto world is?
Okay, let me start. Okay, so back in 2018, that was just right after the ICO boom of crypto. So at Kakao, as a large Web2 company, we wanted to bring the decentralization and this Web3 technology to the existing Web2 services, because Kakao is well known for mobile messenger Talk. But unfortunately, at the time, we want to build services, especially Web3 services or DFs over blockchain technology, but we couldn't find the proper blockchain platforms, because we need the high performance and the manageable gas price and so on. But we realized that there was not a proper blockchain platform for our purpose. So we started building our own network, but we didn't start from the scratch. We started using Ethereum's code, and we modified consensus, and we optimized the performance and so on. So that was the motivation of starting a Klaytn project. And so yeah, to summarize, we wanted to bring the mass adoption of blockchain technology to the world, especially from the perspective of Web2 and the legacy, the enterprise. And So, still we believe the blockchain technology and Web3 technology is still in the early stage, even though, the people in the industry have been working so hard, but still the mass adoption is not in the, not so close to our life. So we'd like to impact to the crypto world or just normal world by bringing the mass adoption to the world. Yeah, using Klaytn and also other blockchain technologies.
Okay, thanks. So you mentioned at the start you were in Kakao, or before that?
Before that, actually, I worked. I joined Kakao 2018, but before that, I was working at Samsung Research. Yeah, as a research engineer. Yeah.
Got it. So, could you give the audience some context on what Kakao is? I'm sure Kakao is very, very large in Korea, but yeah, for people around the world, some people probably don't know.
Okay, so Kakao is as I mentioned, is one of the largest IT company in South Korea, and is the major product and major service is KakaoTalk. It's the mobile messenger app, and more than 90% of Korean population is using this mobile app, mobile messenger. So it's kind of dominating the platform, in the IT platform in South Korea. So Kakao has KakaoTalk and also a payment service, and it has internet banking and taxi service and a lot of things. So if you go to South Korea, then you'll find everyone is using Kakao or Kakao related product. So yeah, that's pretty much about Kakao. Yeah.
Thanks. I was in Seoul 2 weeks back, and like everything was related to Kakao. Like even when I used Uber, I think it was Kakao Taxi that came up.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so you could use, it's like the same as WeChat in China or Grab in Southeast Asia, right? So it's a super app that has over 90% coverage in Korea, and sort of Clayton was built on this foundation where Kakao wanted to build something on the blockchain, and there was a hard requirement that at the time Ethereum or other blockchains couldn't fulfill because of high gas prices. So I think leading to the second question, what do you think Clayton's impact to the crypto world, or has the impact it has on the crypto world, already has on the crypto world?
Jinnie, would you like to answer?
So we try to build a lot of use cases, and Clayton's primary focus will be on the metaverse, gaming, and the creator economy. So we have been engaging with well-known gaming companies and projects, and then they're using our Clayton blockchain. So maybe I can share a bit of angle from the gaming, some of the use cases that we've been doing with our gaming publishers. So a lot of these AAA gaming studios are from South Korea. And for example, like companies like Netmarble and Neowiz have built their blockchain games on Clayton. And for example, Netmarble's Ni no Kuni game was built on Clayton and has been, seen more than 5 million downloads up to date until today. And there's also another popular game called DeFi Kingdoms, and they'll be moving part of their game onto the Clayton blockchain as well. So we do see a lot of these adoption cases in gaming space. So we hope to see that more, globally, from the global adoption perspective.
Okay, thanks, Jinnie. So I think that really leads to the next question. It's a good lead to the next question. So Nori, sorry if I pronounced the name wrong, asked, what is your view on metaverse and Web3 adoption, and how Clayton plans to bring security and adoption in Web3 and metaverse? So building on the last question, right? So you mentioned a lot of GameFi related adoption. I guess you guys both are experts on metaverse and Web3 and like GameFi related projects. So could you share your views on the general trends for how the metaverse will develop, and then also on how Clayton can bring adoption?
Sure, absolutely. This is a great question, and to share more about what exactly is special features about the Clayton is that we're very fast and reliable. So we, for example, we have like a 1 second block time and with the instant finality and 4,000 over TPS. And all these features are quite beneficial for developers because we're building an end-to-end metaverse package with an SDKs and the scaling solutions. And in order to help more for the developers to build these, metaverse faster, and then we are also Ethereum equivalent. So our technical stack allow the Solidity developers to build easily on us. So and also we are also very scalable. So we offer service chains and all this with features including the high TPS and maybe lower transaction fees will help to help with those developers who are working on the metaverse.
Yeah, thanks. So I think a lot of the projects they mentioned they are EVM compatible, right? You mentioned Ethereum equivalent. So EVM compatible, I guess, like lowers the friction for projects on Ethereum or on other projects to migrate their projects onto the EVM compatible chains. Could you elaborate more on how, like, what is Ethereum equivalent? And that's also one of my own personal questions.
Okay, let me answer the question. So, as I mentioned, we started by poking the Ethereum code back in 2018, but we optimized the code and we changed some part of Ethereum code, especially the consensus and APIs and so on. So, but we, in the past we were kind of diverse from the Ethereum, but recently we again made Clayton more compatible to Ethereum. So we achieved 100% of compatibility with Ethereum. So we call it Ethereum equivalence. So because the meaning of this Ethereum equivalence is that the Ethereum's API, the RPC APIs is all the APIs are supported in Clayton. Also, the EVM, the latest version of EVM is supported in Clayton. And so, as long as you are using Solidity and the Ethereum's RPC APIs, I mean, your applications could easily be ported to Clayton, and the vice versa is also possible. So we are supporting this Ethereum equivalence, but we also have our own features and APIs. So we have, for example, we have KLAY namespace. So in typical block, I mean, if EVM compatible chains, you can use, I mean, developers use ETH namespace for RPC APIs, but we do have both ETH namespace and KLAY namespace. So if you want to use Ethereum's feature on Clayton, you just use ETH API. But if you want to use Clayton's own feature, then we provide KLAY namespace. So because we are using different consensus, so you might get a different consensus information and the validator information and so on. Those kind of information can be retrieved by this KLAY namespace API. Yeah. That's basically how we call Clayton is Ethereum equivalent.
Okay, so because at the start, Clayton was a fork directly from Ethereum, so there were a lot of similarities. So if developers on Ethereum are using Solidity, the similar codes, it's very, very easy for them to migrate over. You mentioned like the namespace is also a differentiator from what other. I think the main question here is how is it different from EVM compatible? Is it the main namespace that you mentioned? So for example, EVM compatible versus Ethereum equivalent. What do you think are the main differences? Because go ahead. Sorry.
So main difference between Ethereum compatible and Ethereum equivalent is whether the existing Ethereum dApps could be run on the EVM chain without any modification. So for example, if we need some changes, then we call it Ethereum compatible. If you don't have to change anything, then we say the platform is Ethereum equivalent. Yeah.
Got it. So it's even lower friction than for dApps to migrate over than Ethereum compatible chains. Awesome. All right, thanks for that, Sam.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, next question. Azka Pardo asks, what is the advantage of KaiCas? I'm not sure if I pronounced it right, but what the difference is between KaiCas and other wallets. So I guess KaiCas is a wallet on Clayton.
Right. So KaiCas is a native wallet Clayton. Here, native means the KaiCas support full features of Clayton. So yeah, but the MetaMask can be also used with Clayton. So you can just change the RPC endpoint in MetaMask, then you can connect to Clayton mainnet and testnet. But MetaMask can be used with again the Ethereum features on Clayton. But if you want to fully use Clayton's features, for example, we provide fee delegation transaction model. But if you want to use that kind of feature, then the KaiCas is the best fit for that kind of use case. So the advantage of KaiCas is, again, it can provide full features of Clayton to the users. Yeah, and that would be.
Oh, I think we lost Sam, right? Yeah, because it's like I'm in Taipei and it's raining a lot, so I guess my connection's not that stable too. So I'm not sure, but it's my connection or Sam's. But yeah, it seems like it's Sam's. Oh, Sam, I think we lost you for a bit. Yeah, no worries. But a quick summary there is let me correct me if I'm wrong, Jinnie. But so KaiCas can unlock full abilities, like the full capabilities for Clayton, whereas wallets like MetaMask that can also support Clayton or other. I see that. So users, you can go on to, for the viewers, you can go onto the Clayton website. You'll see like the full ecosystem on how much which wallets support Clayton. Like for those wallets, some of them are cross-chain, chain agnostic. They probably don't support some of the features. Jinnie, do you want to elaborate on like what type of features, like what type of users would want to choose KaiCas, or like what sort of features differentiate it from the other cross-chain? I think Sam is back. Hey, Sam.
Yeah, I'm just the network is very unstable today. I don't know why, but sorry.
No worries. You're, so once again, for those who's just tuned in, Sam and Jinnie are currently in East Vietnam. So once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in after such a long day. And yeah, we were on the question for. So I wanted to elaborate on like the question on, you mentioned that KaiCas could unlock the full capabilities for Clayton, right? Where in comparison, where there's also a wide suite of wallets that support Clayton, like MetaMask, Token Pocket. Could you like do a quick comparison, like where, what kind of features or like what users would be more suitable to choose KaiCas?
So yeah, I think I'm not sure what I said was.
So I think you cut off at where when you said it unlocks the full capabilities.
Oh, I see.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one of the features that Clayton provides is a fee delegation. So we have the in typical EVM chains, if you want to implement the fee delegation or the gas-free transaction, you have to implement in a smart contract. That's the typical implementation. But in Clayton, we provide a special transaction type, and we have a different account model. So the developers can use this feature, so they can pay for the gas fee on behalf of the user. So we provide this feature in a protocol level. So to use this protocol level, you have to create a separate transaction. I mean, that's why we call it that we have a separate, different transaction model. So these different and distinct transaction are supported on KaiCas, but if these are not supported on the MetaMask and other the EVM supporting wallets. So that would be the most significant difference between KaiCas and other blockchain wallets.
So you mentioned the gas gas fee.
The fee delegation.
Fee delegation.
Yeah, because we in typical blockchain and EVM chains, when we send the transaction to the network, the user has to pay for the gas fee, right? But in many legacy systems earlier, when we send a transaction through network, I mean, typical, let's say, let's take an example of internet banking. So when the typical internet apps might charge some fees to the users, but the most Web2 applications don't charge the transaction fee to the users. So we wanted to implement that kind of typical scenario with Clayton. So the fee delegation feature is our unique one. So the service providers can pay for the gas fee on behalf of user. So user don't have to worry about the gas fee. They just use the apps and other services. Yeah.
So sort of like when users they're playing a certain game or in a certain dApp, that dApp would encourage the users or like have users log in or connect through Kaikas. Where if I think a few weeks ago you guys also announced like a gas rebate. Yeah, right. So that's sort of like that could be internally implemented in Kaikas, where the projects they could let users have like a gas-free experience.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very clear. Next, Varavuta asks, what do you think is the biggest challenge or disadvantage that Clayton has to overcome, and how do you think that it will be done?
Maybe I can take this question. So maybe the biggest challenge is that we're aiming for the global adoption, because we're dominant in South Korea, but we have we're trying to aiming towards the global market. And so strategy wise, our focus has always been on like gaming and the metaverse. And in the global market, our goal is to build a dynamic gaming environment that will enable players to truly own the games the items that they play with. And just this means not only onboarding the high quality games projects onto your chain, but this means more than just onboarding the high quality gaming. So we're also working on building the infrastructure tools and the middleware services like bridges and oracles with Chainlink and Wormhole. So building on this infrastructure solutions are required to ensure that our partners and the projects are able to deliver top class and high quality outcomes as well. So I think it's quite interesting to look into this, high crypto adoption rates in Southeast Asia market, and we just try to, evolve more into growing this global adoption for our blockchain.
Cool. Yeah. So like you guys already mentioned, right? Clayton started from a project in Kakao, which is the largest app, probably the largest app, I can generalize that, in Korea, which has a lot of different applications and use cases. And building on that and going to the global scale could be a challenge. So then ecosystem developers could be something that could be a breakthrough, right? And I think the last question also could be an answer to this question, right? So for example, giving projects the utility of having giving users a Web2 experience where they don't need to pay for these GameFi experiences could also be a breakthrough for Clayton. Next question, enough 4 or 5. What do you feel set Clayton apart from other L1s in general, and then in metaverse and games? Sam or Sam? I think we lost Sam again, right?
Yeah, maybe I'll just take this as well.
Yeah, sure.
I think what set us apart is that we have as we shared earlier, we have a very strong back from the Kakao group, and we believe that key for this global adoption is to provide a safe space for Web2 companies to more ideate or explore the new Web3 business models. So we have like a lot of these multiple global companies that are partnering with us. Maybe I can give some example that, for example, like a GMO Group is one of the Japanese internet tech giant, and they want to explore blockchain use cases on Clayton. And we also have like Indonesian conglomerates called Salim Group, and they want to also explore the blockchain-based applications, and or like such as supply chain traceability, as well as like NFT use cases in gaming and entertainment. And we also have the other partner called F10, and it's a global fintech accelerator program to incubate and promising startups that build on and contribute to our Clayton ecosystem.
Awesome. Sam, anything you want to add? So I think Jinnie did a great job on already telling us what sets Klaytn apart in comparison with other ones. I think the takeaway for me is, again, it's incubated from Kakao. So I would think you guys or your team already knows like the niches, the ins and outs on how to work with a big corporate that has already a lot of users. And I think there was also news like regarding RoundX for the development for CBDCs in Korea. So like the government, the affiliation with the government and application for the government would also be, I think, one of the main advantages. But would love to have your input on this too.
So, as I mentioned, I mean, as we talked about the Ethereum equivalence and Klaytn. So, from the perspective of technology, it's very, the familiar technology for the DF developers and the Web3 developers in this area. But, I mean, even though we are telling about this and we are advocating our technology, our technical stack, but yeah, I think it's the same context. So we are mostly focused in South Korea. So we are providing high performance and this better developer and user experience. But yeah, we need to be more engaged with global community and others, so they can understand, and actually we want them to actually experience the high performance and the better user experience with Klaytn. So that will be I feel some part that we are missing. Yeah, so we'd like to fill the gap, and we'd like to reach out to the world.
Could you also give more context on how the CBDC, the GroundX, I see a few weeks ago or a few months ago, there was an announcement on how Klaytn will be utilized as the blockchain, or leveraged as the blockchain for the CBDC rollout? Yeah,
sure. So, the Bank of Korea selected Klaytn as a technology layer for the CBDC project, because there was a competition between other teams, between different teams back in, the 2021 last year. So the Bank of Korea wanted to build a private network for testing CBDCs with the blockchain technology. So that was the last the last year. So we did the first project with Bank of Korea, but they didn't use public network for the testing, but they built, actually my team, our team was working on the development and the testing of the CBDC network with the Klaytn and also other layer 2 technologies and so on. So the CBDC platform is kind of the combination of blockchain and the wallet technology and GKP and the roll-up solution, roll-up technology and so on. So this is this involves huge amount of different technologies. So there was in the first phase we built and tested the basic functionality and advanced topics of as I mentioned, the roll-ups and the GKP things. And after the first phase, we worked with commercial banks in South Korea. So the Bank of Korea started the second phase to test and to make some use cases with commercial banks in South Korea. So we also completed the second phase. So the GroundX was selected as an the project manager project provider in the beginning, but this year actually the entire team was moved from GroundX to Crust Universe. So the Crust Universe has been in charge of the development of this project.
Got it. And I think for those who don't know about the Cross Universe, could you give a bit of context on that, background on that?
Sure. Yeah. So the Crust Universe is a subsidiary of Kakao. So it's in charge of development and operation, but not full operation, but basically operation. I mean development of Clayton network and also expansion of the Clayton ecosystem along with Clayton Foundation. So the GroundX is. I mean, the Kakao is a huge company. So the GroundX is again a subsidiary of Cross Universe, and the GroundX is currently focusing on the wallets and the NFTs and the use cases on top of Clayton. So to summarize, GroundX is focusing on use cases and also wallet businesses, but the Cross Universe is focusing on the development of Clayton network and also expansion of this Clayton network.
Okay, thanks for the summary. Next question from Flop6. What are some of the advantages of building on Clayton ecosystem? And does Clayton offer something unique to the metaverse and game developers?
I think this links with the answers that I just give earlier, that we are quite we have instant finality, and then we have a lower gas fee, and as well as we have a very faster speed, and all 4,000 over TPS as well. And all these technical features actually are quite beneficial for the developers, especially in terms of the metaverse in gaming. And also we have a very strong ecosystem partners that are from the enterprises, from the Web2 space. So this kind of provides the credibility in terms of the project quality as well. So I believe that these are some of the advantages.
Awesome. And I think you also have like some ecosystem grants and funds, or also like mentorship. Could you elaborate a bit on those?
Sure. So we do provide the KGF, is a Clayton Growth Fund, and as well as KIR, is Clayton Improvement Reserve. So these are the funding and grants program that Clayton offers. And currently we are also looking for a developer ambassador as well. Currently we are in Vietnam, and we are trying to recruit more, developer ambassador as well. So we're looking to get more applications.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Sam, did you have anything to add?
I'd like to add a bit more about our developer ambassador program. So we actually there will be an official announcement of this program through our talk in this Vietnam. So this Clayton developer ambassador program is basically to give an opportunity to the developers, especially junior developers who are university students, so they can engage in our community activities, and they can be representing the Clayton at the conferences or at the meetups and so on. So they can have support from our technical team, and also support for the traveling and the participating in the conferences and so on. So we'll start this ambassador program from January to June next year. So the application will be operating till December 11 this year. So please feel free to reach out to us for more information about this developer ambassador program. And
so for the developers out there, or like the projects out there, if you're interested in developing on Clayton, feel free to reach out. Or if you're in East Vietnam, I guess they can find you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have a booth. So please stop by us anytime.
Sure. Next question. So OnePath31 asks, does Clayton have staking? So I guess this sort of like brings out the question of like tokenomics. How does Clayton governance and staking work?
Okay, yeah, I'll take this comment. So yes, we do have staking. So because even though we are using the BFT consensus algorithm, we do also have a staking based reward system. That means the validators node can stake our token Clay in their nodes. So depending on the amount of staking, so they can get a different amount of reward, the block reward. So that's the basic model of staking and rewarding system. So currently we have more than 32 validators, and they have of course they have different amount of Clay stake on their node. So there are public staking services as well. So some of the node validators are operating public interface for the delegate for users the Clay delegation. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So in terms of tokenomics, so yeah, the amount of Clay generated per block is determined by our governance, but we recently changed the minting rate from 9.6 Clay to 6.4 Clay. So every block generates a new 6.4 Clay, and this new Clay, the newly minted Clay, is divided into block reward and also ecosystem fund. So half of them goes to the node validator, and the half of them goes to the ecosystem fund that Jinnie mentioned before, the KIR and KGF, those things.
Cool. So actually, Binance is also one of the validators, right? So there's two ways to stake. Actually, a quick plug for Binance. So you can, of course, stake. I think the next question will address this question. So there is a staking option if you want to stake on the non-custodial way. If you have staking, if you have Clayton in your non-custodial wallets, your MetaMask, or your Cuz, or if you have Clayton in your Binance wallet, I don't take Claytons. Feel free to stake them on Binance Simple Earn. It is a token principal protected product. So it means that, of course, we are one of the validators. We generate rewards on staking blockchain, on the Clayton blockchain. So we stake tokens on your behalf onto Clayton, so you don't need to go through all of that process of managing your own private keys and then going through the staking process. So if you have Clayton on Binance, feel free to go to Simple Earn. If you would like, of course, like a lot of people do a bit of both, right? They want some funds on the custodial wallets. They want some funds on their non-custodial wallets. So I think this brings out the next question: what is Clayton? ClayStation on Clayton Network, and how can it solve liquidity problems?
Okay, I'll answer this one, and then I'll pass the mic to Jinnie later. So ClayStation is one of the, as I mentioned, we have several public staking services on Clayton network, and ClayStation is one of them, and that's the first public public staking service on Clayton. So they provide interface for users to delegate, and actually they stake the user's token, user's Clay to their node. So the ClayStation is developed and operated by OGIS. The OGIS is one of the validators in Clayton network. So basically, again, the ClayStation is a public Clay staking service, and how they solve the liquidity problem is when users take their Clay to this ClayStation, they can have either get reward or get staked Clay. It's a kind of tokenized the amount of Clay. So if they get this S Clay is a staked Clay in short. So if users choose to get this S Clay, then they don't get block reward, but they have this S Clay, so they can use this on DEX and as a liquidity provider, or they can just change this staked Clay with other tokens and so on. So in this way, they can actually solve the liquidity problem that might be caused in staking.
Oh, so a quick question for myself. So you mentioned like if I stake Clay through ClayStation, I can choose to get Clay, or is that an option, or
so
I
the
will get
default
S-Clay?
option is default option is to get the block reward. So as depending on how much you Clay, how much Clay you stake, but that's the default. But if you can actually withdraw, you know, in Klaytn network, there's the 1 week period when you try to withdraw the Clay you staked. So you have to wait for 1 week to get to receive your staked Clay after you try to withdraw the Clay. But to avoid this 1 week period, the ClayStation provide S-Clay feature, so you can change your staked Clay with S-Clay, and then this S-Clay can be liquidated on DEX or other services.
Got it. So yeah, I think like what there are liquidity staking solutions where could you also mention a bit on like what are the restrictions? So if I stake my Clay, how long would it lock for? Like for example, Ethereum, right? It locks until forever. They don't even have the timeline on that. So it locks until it's Shanghai upgrade. I guess for a lot of the different POS tokens, they are searching like staking or locking and unlocking period. And do people get rewards during that period, or is there a lockup period, or do we have to wait for the epochs? How long are the epochs? These kind of questions for staking.
So we don't have any time. I mean, the time requirement for the staking. So if you stake to any staking service, then you'll get reward immediately. But if you choose to withdraw your Clay, then you'll have to wait for 1 week to receive the Clay.
Okay, wait for 7 days, right? So if I stake, if I choose to unstake, I'll wait for 7 days, and that's without rewards, or
it depends on the implementation of the public staking services, but typically, you don't get reward. That
during
could
those
be kind of penalty.
Okay. So during that 7 days, if I choose to unstake during those 7 days, I won't have rewards, and that's where the liquidity tokens would come in handy.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect. All right. So we have some live questions already, and thanks for the helpers backstage for helping us choose the questions. So, user 2CD8C, can you explain the meaning of cross-chain and liquidity? I guess, because I guess liquidity in terms of, I'm not sure, probably the staking and cross-chain. I guess I have a question, maybe like in terms of like a lot of the other L1s or a lot of the L1s I see, I think Klaytn also has implement with Zeta chain. I'm not sure if I'm correct, but there was an implementation with a cross-chain or like interoperability protocol, right? Feel free to break.
Sure.
I'm not sure if I get the names right.
Jinnie, would you like to answer this one, or?
I think we do provide the cross-chain for interoperability. So we do provide like a middleware for like cross-chain, like a wormhole or Oracle Bridge. So I believe this is the cross-chain that the person who asked the question is asking for.
Okay. So there are okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So we have several bridges already supporting support Klaytn. So we have, as Jinnie mentioned, the warmer bridge is supporting Klaytn among other, with other chains. And so basically you can transfer tokens from Klaytn to other chains and also from other chains to Klaytn. So for example, you can transfer the ETH token from Ethereum to Clayton through this kind of bridge. So Warmer is one example, and we also have Ori Bridge, and also Snaps is supporting Clayton, and other Seller Bridge is also supporting Clayton. And we have these kind of bridges that support this kind of cross-chain interoperability. And
awesome.
In terms of liquidity, so yeah, through this cross-chain, the liquidity in other chains come to Clayton, and they can be used in DEX or in liquidity pool. So yeah, that's one of the ways that we have liquidity on Clayton.
Okay. Next question, Shochan9, how and where can users join to be Clayton's ambassador?
Clayton's ambassador, as in the developers ambassador program that we mentioned just now, or?
I guess you could, if there's a lot of programs, you could touch a bit on everything. But maybe you could elaborate more on the developers program.
Yeah, we do provide like the QR code for the filling out the application form. I'm not sure whether we can share this after this show, but we're happy to share that. Yeah.
So maybe you could tell them how to search for it, right? So for example, Google Clayton token foundation, and then go on the website. Is there like a search method to the form, or just like yeah, Google it. It's the Google's very good, does a very good job in finding info. All right. So next question, Deedon, does Clay have audits for smart contracts? I guess smart contracts are mainly for dApps, right? Does Clayton do audits?
Yeah, I'm not sure I fully understood this question, but the Clay is the token name, so the name of the base token, and so of course, yeah, when we launched our mainnet, we did audits in the smart contract used in Clayton network. For example, we have a staking feature, and this staking feature is implemented as a smart contract. Of course, so we did smart contract audit for this implementation, and so yes, we do have. And for general audits for smart contracts, we actually support audit program through KIR, the funding program. So if you have a smart contract implementation and you need the support, financial support from our team, the Clayton, then we can subsidize 50% of the audit cost through this KIR audit program. Yeah.
Awesome. So I know one of the biggest selling points of Clayton is one of the first, the second chain implemented on OpenC, right? So especially since last year, a huge explosion for OpenC, and we see only 2 chains. Are you planning on launching your own NFT marketplace? I guess a more general question would be, what are your thoughts on how NFTs, like the general trends for NFTs, and your view on the developments for Clayton for an NFT marketplace?
Maybe I can take this question. So as Larry, you just mentioned just now, we are actually partnering with OpenC, and we're one of those 4 the the currency that is accepted in OpenC. So we do see a lot of interest from these traditional Web2 companies that they are interested in like launching their own NFT, and giving the user, their customers, a new user experience. So we do see a lot of enthusiasm in terms of the NFT, but because of the recent market sentiment, they have slowed down a bit. But we do see that there's a high demand in the traditional industry, that they are willing to try out this NFT for entering in a way to enter into a Web3 market audience. So although it has been slowed down a bit, but we believe that this interest about the NFT and Web3 will be here to stay.
Okay. I guess one of the questions after NFT would be a more general question is, are there any like near-term or long-term future plans that you would like to share?
Sam, would you like to take it
Yeah,
or?
yeah, sure. I'll go first. So our future plan, actually this ongoing plan. So we have been focusing on games and metaverse projects. So our immediate, near future plan is we'll more focus on the games to bring the AAA games or small or the medium-sized games to Clayton. So the users can enjoy this Web3 version of games or the blockchain enabled games more easily, and that will be the first plan for our future. And of course, and also we are expanding our market to the global and especially in Southeast Asia. So we'll find more developers and more community who can work together with us and who can build their new ideas and on Clayton.
Okay, I think we have a more generic question here. So Yash asked, what is there any meaning to the name Clayton, or is there like an origin story?
Oh yeah, there is, of course. So the names that are used in Clayton are mostly from nature. So our motive is nature's, because so the Clayton name actually is a combination of clay and stone. So we combine this clay, actually the CLAY, clay plus stone, and we removed some characters from these two. So and then we changed the C to K, and so it became Clayton.
Oh, so it's related to nature and clay and stone.
So basically,
any particular
Clayton
reason?
The particular reason is, we are building ecosystem and we are building kind of the blockchain world. So Clayton is just the ground. It's a clay and stone, and on top of this, the cypress is the name of the tree. So the name of the first private network was Aspen, and our testnet is Baobab, and our mainnet is Cypress. So these are the name of all trees. And so on top of this ground, we are building trees, and then that will be later. They could be forest and so on. Yeah.
Wow, very interesting, very interesting. All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing, and thanks, guys, for all the viewers in the chat. Thanks so much for submitting your questions. Congratulations once again for all those users who have their questions chosen. Once again, I want to remind you guys to don't copy other people's questions. We will try and find the original question, the original. We can use we can use search to find the person who asked the question first. So just don't bother copying other people's questions. And secondly, other than the questions that I have chosen, so the helpers have chosen, that I brought up during the AMA, we will also pick up to 100 people who submitted constructive and quality questions and constructive comments in the chat box. So thank you guys once again so much for submitting these amazing questions. So aware of the time, and I guess I don't want to be too cruel for Sam and Jinnie, who has had a very, very long day. We're moving on to the last part of today's AMA, which is the prized quiz. So once again, if you're tuning in on YouTube, if you want to participate in the prized quiz session, feel free to go log into your Binance and tune in from the Binance Live platform. So we will record comments there. So here we'll first give a quick overview of today's key points and talking points, and then do take notes, because at the end we will have multiple choice where test your guys' knowledge on what you've learned today and see if you learned anything regarding Clayton. So a quick introduction. So I'm Larry from Simple on the Binance Earn team, mainly in charge of the Simple Earn product. So Simple Earn is an easy way for users to earn daily rewards by depositing on your idle assets. So if you are already holding, we offer over 300 assets. So I guess a lot of the assets that you're already holding, you can earn additional interest on those. So go on to the Binance Earn to deposit those assets. And in this case, we also support staking for Clayton. So one quick background. In the past, you guys probably know that there's a Binance staking and a Binance savings product. We've rebranded these two products to Simple Earn because for users, really, the concept is the same, right? You're depositing your tokens to get rewards. So Binance savings and staking, a lot of people ask us, where does the rewards or the APR come from for Simple Earn? I guess with recent events, a lot of people are very conscious on risk management and where the interests come from. Just like Sam and Jinnie has shared during the past hour, there is, for example, take Klaytn, for example, there's a staking mechanism where we participate in. So we stake 2 users' tokens on your behalf onto the Klaytn network, and we earn rewards on their behalf. However, the difference between staking on your own and staking on Simple Earn is that for Simple Earn, you'll receive the rewards daily, and then there's if you want to unstake, there's only 48 hours. So compared with like some other chains like DOT, which takes like 28 days, you can quickly make use of your assets, of your staked assets, if you want them unstaked quickly. So that's for locked products. We also have flexible products, which generally has lower APRs, but gives you the flexibility of unstaking anytime. So this is also a quick note to self, so I'll try to go over the points. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and please feel free to jump in. Jinnie and Sam, feel free to jump in if you want to elaborate on anything. And also, I might have questions reading through some of these notes. So, and to the viewers, do take note. Every time for the users that participate in past, I try to make the questions very easy if you take notes, especially the bold parts for the presentation. All right, so Klaytn is started off in South Korea, the South Korean company Kakao, which is one of the largest tech giants in South Korea. It's a layer 1 blockchain focused on metaverse, gaming, and the creator economy. So how big is the Clayton's ecosystem? There are more than 200 products on Klaytn. Jinnie mentioned at the start, one of the tier one Web2 gaming companies in Korea, Netmarble, Newwiz, have already built blockchain games on Klaytn. The Nino Kuni is a very popular game, also DeFi Kingdom. So feel free to check it out if you like games. And also, I think Klayton's partnerships with OpenC is very well known. It's one of the first chains that's been integrated on OpenC. It's one of the 5 chains that's been integrated. And also they have a partnership to expand on the NFT system, especially for the Asian community. Also, the total TVL currently on the Klaytn DeFi ecosystem is approximately around 410 million, according to KLAY Labs yesterday, so on November 24th. So if you're interested in DeFi, of course, there's an emphasis on GameFi Metaverse, but if you're interested in DeFi, feel free to check that out. And also, I think we didn't touch on this topic quite a lot. I think we touched on it in the staking section, but maybe Sam, you could jump in for a bit to talk about this. So Binance to LG Electronics, you mentioned 32 validators on the Klaytn governance councils, right? So these validators currently are responsible for the platform's governance, consensus node operation, and the entire ecosystem growth. So probably they vote on the proposals. They are validators, so they process transactions, they stake their tokens. As for Binance, so if you stake your tokens on Simple Earn, we will stake your tokens on to Klaytn. So Sam, maybe a quick question is, could you quickly describe on how the governance works for Klaytn?
So the governance council is, as already mentioned, is in charge of Klaytn governance. So governance council is a set of validators, actually, because we are using the BFT, Istanbul BFT, for our consensus algorithm. So to run this BFT algorithm, we need a set of validators, and this set is our governance council. So they do vote some agendas on chain, and also we also have offline voting, and also we have a governance portal. And recently, actually, we launched the governance portal for these governance council members, and also in the future, the community will be able to participate in the governance, the governance, proposals and other discussions.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's also something So there are some tweaks, new advances to the tokenomics and the governance to drive more sustainable growth. So recently, we saw a proposal that's reducing the block rewards by approximately 30%. So currently, the 32 validators, their block rewards will get decreased, but this is really to reduce the inflation of the circulating Clay. So in terms of that, reducing inflation, I guess that would reflect or compensate the reducing rewards for the validators. So that really, we didn't really see a reduce in the validators' participation there. Also, Sam, you mentioned there's going to be result in a 3% increase to the overall ecosystem staking APR. Okay, so I think that's on the next point. Oh, this one. So I think you were referring to this one, right? Klaytn proposing the permissionless participation of validators.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So just because to progress it into a more decentralized chain, there's going to be a proposition. Is this already passed, or this is in a participation in the proposition phase?
It's in proposition phase. Yeah. So the governance council members are in discussion.
Got it. Okay, and then so other than that, there's also a 69 million Clay buyback to stabilize Clayton's ecosystem in ongoing volatility, where all the Klaytn purchase will be was burnt. So this is already happened.
Yeah, it already happened. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and then there's a governance portal for more transparent information on, I guess, the proposals and the transactions and staking deposits. And okay, so this for the developers or for the gamers out there, why build on Klaytn? So this is, I think Jinnie already mentioned at the start. So the Klaytn blockchain is fast. It's 1 second block time compared to several seconds on other layer 1 chains. Instant finality, whereas for proof of work there's no finality. On proof of stake there's really at least a few seconds of finality, and then 4,000 real world TPS. Sam and Jinnie, any context or background you want to give on this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this number is actually what we measure through our entire network. So theoretically, we could have higher number for TPS. So for example, if we set up a small number of nodes in our for Klaytn network, we could achieve actually more than 10,000 TPS. But here, real world TPS means we configure the network with the current Klaytn mainnet, and so we actually measure the TPS with the real workload. So we achieved more than 4,000 TPS. So that's why we call real world TPS.
Yeah, so a quick background for those that are wondering what TPS. So TPS is transactions per second, right? So in order how to evaluate a layer 1 chain, we look at how the speed is for these layer 1 chains. But feel free to Google that on your own. So also Klaytn is made for developers. There's an end-to-end metaverse package with SDKs that really helps the onboarding of Web2 gaming companies to the Klaytn ecosystem. And also at the start, Jinnie gave a great explanation, and Jinnie and Sam gave a great explanation on what Ethereum equivalent is. I also saw some questions in the comment section regarding is Klaytn EVM compatible? So it's even more frictionless than EVM compatible, where Ethereum equivalent, meaning that for blockchain developers on Ethereum, they don't need to even do modifications on parameters. They can directly migrate to Klaytn with very, very little friction. And also Klayton's scalable and low gas fees, especially the gas fee delegation, where projects can choose to provide a zero gas fee experience for their users to get more adoption. All right, so finally into the prize quiz. So we are changing the rules a bit today. So this is an example questions. Do not start answering in the comment section. So this time, you guys have to answer. So after you read the questions, you guys have to answer. You have to type in the number of the question. So I would label the questions. For example, For this question, which of the following is wrong about simple earn? Let's say you think the answer is A, you type 1 and then dot and then A. So the correct answer is B actually. So simple earn, there are flexible and locked products, so you can choose either one. Locked for higher APR, flexible if you want more flexibility. For C, it is a token principal protected product. So on Binance, we will guarantee that you will at least receive your principal amount and the rewards. So yeah, I see already people are spamming the answers here. This is an example question. You won't get any rewards for this. But yeah, for why is B wrong? Because B rewards are distributed daily and not weekly for simple earn. So the correct answer, you have to type this in the comment section. Okay, you have to type the question, the number of the question, and then the answer. All right. So okay, I see you guys are still trying out. So this is the correct format. If you don't get the format right, don't ask for the rewards. So, all right, I'll stop here just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Okay, cool. I see a lot of you are practicing. All right, so this is the official question. This is one of the officer questions. First question: where does Clayton originate from? A, South Korea; B, South Africa; or C, South America? Okay. I already see a lot of answers coming in. Correct answer is A, South Korea. So it originated from the Kakao enterprise. Perfect. All right, next question. And feel free, Sam and Jinnie, if you want to jump in to elaborate more on the answers. So what does the Clayton blockchain focus on? And choose the best answer. A, metaverse; B, gaming; C, NFTs and creative economy; and D, all of the above. Okay. All right. The answer is all of the above. I think we didn't address on the NFTs and creator economy too much. We addressed on the NFT, maybe not the creator economy. I guess designers would count. But yeah, feel free to jump in after the quiz. All right. So last question: what perks do developers get from joining Clayton's Developer Ambassador program? A, mentoring from Clayton developers; B, expenses paid entry to dev events; C, priority invitations to Clayton hosted events; and D, all of the above. Okay, so this I think wasn't mentioned in the keynotes, but a lot of you are very smart. So yeah, most of you got it correct. Perfect. So the correct answer is D, all of the above. Any additional thoughts that you guys want to add, Jinnie and Sam?
Just quick one about the creator economies, because the NFTs were for creators to have the total ownership of their artworks and their the creations. So to enable this creator economy, the NFTs is the key factor. Key technology for this. So we have been working with many artists and creators to enable this creator economy. So we are truly also focusing on this creator economy with NFT technology.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much, Sam and Jinnie. And I think that's a wrap for today. We went 10 minutes over the clock. And thank you guys once again so much, Sam and Jinnie, for tuning in today. After such a long day, I guess the events are very, very tiring. And thank you guys on YouTube, Binance viewers from YouTube and Binance live viewers. Really, really happy that you guys can tune in on a Friday night. We'd love to have your feedback. So this time we have a QR code. So please, you can screenshot this. You can do it whatever you like after the AMA. So there's a text box where you could give us any feedback for me, for the speakers, for any of our past AMAs. So just feel free to use this as a method to connect with us if you have any questions, if you have any things you'd like to say to us. But yeah, I think that's a wrap. Jinnie and Sam, any additional thoughts, any final thoughts or final comments?
No, I just like to thank Larry and the Binance team for hosting this this amazing AMA session. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was my first AMA session, and yeah, thanks Larry and Binance team to inviting us.
All right. Regarding the rewards, I see that some of the questions in the comment section. It will be distributed in 30 days after. So starting from today, it will be distributed within 30 days. It will be distributed as in the form of a locked trial fund. You can see all the terms and conditions in the description below. There is a survey there that you can refer to. So yeah, I guess a lot of users already received rewards in the past. So I think a lot of people are already very familiar. But feel free to check the terms and conditions in the survey in the description. And once again, thank you so much, Sam and Jinnie. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving and a great weekend. All right.